Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Kev's Movie Corner. I am Kev, he is Doug, and this week we watched Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Okay. We talked last week, Doug, that this is where we start to get into the movies that you're not as fond of.
A little bit.
Last week was the first of the Disney ones. Well, the first of the, Disney... I guess it was the first of the actual Disney ones. This is the second of the Skywalker Disney episodes. And I don't think I don't think I've seen this since this was in theaters. I don't think I ever watched this again after it was in theaters. After watching it this time, pretty sure I don't remember seeing any of this a second time. That was it. This was the second time I've watched this. It's okay. There's a lot of questions that I have that I'm going to ask you and see what you think about it. But
good luck. I may not understand them, but I'll try.
I'll just ask to start. What do you think about this? Like, overall, what do you think about this movie?
Well, I told you going in. This is only the second time I watched it.
Yeah, okay.
Watched it once in the theater, and I came out just mortified. I really did.
Okay.
You know, after killing Han last year, or in the last movie, I hated the writing for Luke. I really did.
Luke hated the writing for Luke.
Yeah,
Mark Hamill hated the writing for Luke.
I understand why. I actually... I can't believe I'm saying this. I enjoyed it more this time than I did at the theater, but I was watching it a little different. And I think when I came out of the theater, I was so in shock with how bad I thought it was.
Yeah.
And this time I sat back. I've watched, now all of them. I've had time. I still don't like it. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I still don't like it. But there are aspects that I actually can appreciate now.
Okay.
It was so-so. It was just so-so for me. When Kylo and Rey are together, I liked some of the scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, the throne room, I thought was epic.
Yeah.
I thought that was beautiful cinematography. And in all honesty, out of all the movies, I think this one is probably the most beautifully shot, filmed movie. I think it is just... with the red colors and some of the coloring and everything, I thought it was gorgeous on the screen.
Yeah.
That still doesn't take away from how bad a movie it is, but it is gorgeous. The throne room, I mean, other than the Darth Maul fight with Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan, I thought it was great. How Snoke didn't feel the lightsaber turning.
That was one of my questions.
I'm thinking, okay, because Palpatine knew that, Luke was wanting his lightsaber when it was sitting there and, Jedi, and it's like Return of Jedi, and it's like, okay, so, and let's just get this out of the way. Who is Snoke?
I don't know.
They never answered it. He shows up, he gets killed, and it's like, who the hell are you? Honestly.
He's in 2 movies. You don't know who he is. I don't know if he's in a book somewhere, something. I don't know. I don't know if they explained it in a movie episode somewhere along the line. I don't have a clue. But you see him in 2 of these movies. Another thing that I haven't, and maybe this happens in some of the other episodes and things too, because I don't remember it happening in any of the movies. Because I don't even remember the Emperor being able to do this. In one of these... it might have been in this movie. I don't actually remember if it was in this one or the last one. Snoke, uses the Force through the, hologram on Kylo Ren, which I've never seen a Sith Lord be able to do, which would make you think that he's pretty freaking powerful. Yeah. So, again, how would he not be able to see Kylo Ren turning a lightsaber to kill him?
and just sense it.
And just
if
sense
nothing
it.
else. Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. There's originally, like I said, there are some good aspects of it, but
yeah.
the bad outweighs the good.
Yeah.
But I mean, going back to, I don't have that much good, so I was just going to kind of go over my good before I got to the bad.
Okay.
But I mean, I thought Kylo Ren's performance was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I did like it. I thought he really he's growing as a character. You're seeing you can see the internal fight, trying to be good, bad, all this and that. Rey was good in the last one. She continues being strong, has all this force power that no one understands and everything. I just didn't like Luke. Luke was just an old, grumpy old man. And, I read some different things, and this was probably the most divisive film of any of them. Because in all honesty, I think everyone agreed that the last film we're going to do next week was horrible. Yeah. I don't think there's very many people that defended this, but a lot of people really loved this film because it was different and stuff. They liked, the direction that Rian Johnson, the director, wrote. I just, Luke was always so positive and all this and that. All of a sudden, and who in their right mind thinks that Luke Skywalker is going to kill his nephew?
That's one of the questions I had. Like,
I mean,
why would you? At what point did you think? First off, not even Luke, but any Jedi is going to try to kill one of their trainees. Any Jedi Master is going to, without any not turning to the dark side or any already rejected the dark side, is going to try to kill one of their trainees, especially their relative,
their nephew. Yeah, I was just like, that storyline right there, and that happened.
Make any sense?
Doesn't. Not at all. Not at all. Because he's like, basically he's like, I can feel the darkness in him. Okay, well then you deal with that at a different time. He's a kid. And I just thought, okay, this storyline. But before, they had already lost me at this point when I saw it in the theater, because when they kill Admiral Akbar and Princess freaking Leia is flying through space, and you talk about not only stupid, it looks so fake.
Yeah, I don't understand why she's floating through outer space.
Because it's really bad writing. That's why.
Don't understand why she's floating through outer space.
I couldn't explain it. They lost me there. I remember turning to Amanda and I just thought, what are we watching?
Yeah.
I just was so lost. And that was before the whole storyline of Luke trying to kill his own nephew. And it's like, what are we doing here? I mean, there was so many, like I said, the parts with Kylo and Rey, I thought were good. And I didn't have some issue with Rey and Luke once he stopped being just an old curmudgeon, which just was not his. I didn't like the writing for it. But everything with Finn and Rose, I'm telling you, Rose as a person may be a great person and a great actress. She must not have read the script or her lines that she was going to have to spew out when she signed up for this movie, because they absolutely made her look like a buffoon. When they're on the casino planet, whatever it is, Canto Bright or whatever, we may all die, but at least we saved the horses. What the hell? I mean, who cares? I'm not...
Yeah,
Peter, don't come after me. I'm not about hurting horses, but come on. And I mean, that poor girl just must have wanted to be in a Star Wars movie. And like I said, did not read her lines, because she would have ran out the door. She would have like, you guys expect me to say this stuff? This is the worst writing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And poor Finn, he just kind of got drugged down. But their whole thing on that, and I've always told you I'm not getting political, but I don't need Disney to lecture me on capitalism. And that's what I felt like with that whole thing. And it's like,
Disney's not one shouldn't be lecturing at capitalism.
No, and that's what I felt like after watching that. And they've got their own story. It was just so discombobulated.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all over the place. And then I like Laura Dern. She was great in the original Jurassic Park and stuff like that. But, once again, was she there just to show woman power? You know, because it was almost like Poe is getting knocked down, and Poe was stupid for what he did. I mean, they lost all those ships at the beginning just to take down a big one, and I get that, but I just thought some of the characters that I thought they did so good as an initial introduction in The Force Awakens, like Poe and Finn and stuff, I thought they did a disjustice to them. They went backwards. Yeah. I really felt that way. And I understand the focus is Rey and Kylo Ren and stuff. But, you know, and even his writing after Snoke is dead, I think I called him Snork earlier, but Snoke is dead. He's like, you know, let's let the past die, do all this and this. Like, let's do change. And then all of a sudden, here, take my hand and we'll rule the galaxy. Yeah. Well, aren't you contradicting what you just said? And isn't that exactly, you know, there was a lot of empire there because, when Luke's like, Vader won't take me to see the Emperor, and he does, well, you know, Rey's like, well, Kylo won't take me to see Snoke, and he did. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't even know where to go with it.
I didn't understand that after that either. Like, he, like, asked her to, you know, like, leave everything behind and go. And then after that, he's just like, I didn't understand why he wouldn't, like, end the First Order, like, just leave the First Order and just kind of be done with it after that. But after he basically rejected the Sith and then, like, still then stayed with it. Like, it didn't really make sense to me.
And General Hux, I thought was really good in the first one. I didn't like how they used him here either. And I kind of felt, and it started at the very beginning with Poe kind of playing a joke on Hux because he's buying time to load up everything. But I kind of felt the humor was Marvel-like, because Marvel does a great job with their heroes of making quips and jokes. I didn't like that in Star Wars, and a lot of people may, if anyone listens to this, may be like, "Oh, you're just an old fart. You like how?" But that's not Star Wars.
I think I talked about this last week. Is that it's a lot? They added a lot more quippiness to the movies.
Yeah, and I think it was worse this time.
It felt off to me because that's not anything that I'm used to in Star Wars. Yeah, and it isn't like, it's not Marvel. They do it with, but I'm used to it. I think a little more in Marvel and what I've seen in Marvel. So it doesn't seem as off-putting when I see it in Marvel, whereas Star Wars has been around for 50 flipping years or, you know, whatever. So it's not and it's never been, like, there are jokes, but it's never been that blatant and that kind of quippy where everything has almost, this one, it was, like you said, worse than the last one, and it seemed like everything has to be a joke. Every comment has to be a joke.
And with Marvel, you know, with Captain America and all, they started from the get-go. I mean, that was always their skit, you know, type thing. And that's why when I was reading and just doing some research on other people's opinions and just why it was so divisive, because I had my opinion, but okay, you know, I'm trying to be fair with the movie. I want to read some other people's opinions because maybe they'll put it in a light that I hadn't seen, and I would, you know, change my perspective a little bit. But that's why some people really liked the movie so much, is it was completely different. And I think you can do that early on in a series when you're 1 or 2 movies in, but not 8.
Yeah.
You know, Star Wars fans kind of know, you know, at this point when you're going to a movie, and maybe I just don't like change, but
no, that's probably true too, but you know.
Yeah, and too, but oh my gosh. Like I said, when the biggest point I can make of all the positive stuff is the cinematography, that says a lot. And like I said, don't get me wrong with the throne room. But then, you know, at the end on the salt planet, you know, where it's white, step on it's red, beautifully filmed. But anyone that walks on it turns red. So did Kylo Ren not realize when Luke was walking out that he wasn't leaving any footprints?
I mean, truthfully, I didn't notice it until, like, I didn't notice it. But
maybe I was just so pissed off at that point. Even in the theater, I was just like, okay, that's not him. There's no way he's there. Yeah. You know, that part of it. And why did he die? He wasn't 900 some years old like Yoda. was he sick or something?
Uh,
Maybe, but I mean, he just
the only
can you
thing
just decide to die if you're just
I can't. I don't know. The only thing I can think of is either you can like, either you can just like, he just like decide like, kind of like he just decided he had no more will to live, or he was done. Like he had finished his like objective of living, and he was done. And that's just kind of at that point you're, you know how like they say, when you get older, you can like some people just kind of lose the will to live because they've like,
sure.
like that.
And I didn't know whether it's a Jedi thing where you can choose to just move on
That's
in the
kind of
Force.
also what I wondered. Like maybe that's what happened too, or if
Did he
like
use so much energy
maybe
doing what he
that's
did?
because like I also
You know?
haven't ever. That's also the first time I've ever seen somebody like basically astral project to another planet and fight
Yeah.
somebody. So I mean, dude was like projecting across the universe himself. So like I've never seen anybody do that. So maybe that just took, because when he does, after he finishes, you kind of see him like almost collapse, and then
Yeah.
he like, you know, he
And that was a
vanishes.
story I told myself is he just basically saved them, in the process killed himself
Yeah,
because it just took that much energy out of him that he just died. And I
yeah,
mean, it does show how strong a Jedi he became
yeah.
and stuff, but what did you think of Yoda? Did he look I thought he looked for the technology, I thought he looked cringy. I just didn't like. I didn't think the special effect looked good. Maybe it was me. I just
I read that. I don't really know because I read that the director Rian Johnson brought in Frank Oz to ask about directing or editing with a puppet. So that makes me think that there was actually a puppet somewhere on the set, but I don't know if it
okay.
was Yoda or something else or what was going on there.
Mm,
It didn't look like any of the other. He didn't. He didn't look see through enough for me, like the other
okay.
ones in the other movies.
Yeah.
Um, I. It didn't really throw me off that much. He just didn't look like you could see through. He didn't look like ghostly enough. He looked too. He looked too there, basically, for me. He looked
Okay.
like too much like he was there. I did think that his mannerisms were more like he was in the original trilogy in Dagobah, where he's like, kind of goofy and silly and things
Hmm.
like that, instead of like the prequels where he's more serious.
Yeah.
So he's kind of got that like goofy and like, you know, kind of wild, like, you know, that kind of thing going on, which I
Hmm.
thought was weird in the when we watched those ones, but
Yeah.
it was fine. I didn't. There wasn't anything that I really saw that looked odd, I guess, when I looked at him. But it sounds like you thought he looked a little off.
Well, I think what you're describing is maybe what looked off to me. I just didn't really know how to describe it. Is that he? You know, I don't know. I had a problem with them destroying all the old Jedi books and basically saying, "Hey, let's move on." I'm big into
Mm-hmm.
tradition.
Yeah.
Um, I think there's a lot to be learned from history, and
Yeah.
I'm not saying you get stuck in it, but I don't think you destroy it either. I had a real issue with that, and I mean him doing it. And Yoda's like, "Oh, I'll just do it for you, more or less, and just light it all on fire, and let's because it's
Yeah.
and is he really the last Jedi? I mean, what's the whole point of the movie? He's really not, because there's going to be a lot more Jedi's. There's powers out there. Look at the little boy at the end. He had powers, right?
Yeah, but I don't. I guess my thought on that is there's since they destroyed the text, there's not going to be any more Jedi that are trained that way. It's
Okay.
not. It's not going to be like you're not going to have a formal training. You might have the powers of a Jedi, but you're not going to be trained as a formal. You're not going to be trained that as a Jedi anymore.
That's a good perspective.
And I don't know that the books. The ancient texts. I don't really know with the destroying them and stuff. I don't know how they got there. I don't know, like, in the temple in the first ones, in the, like, prequels, did they have copies of those? Were those books there? Did they move them to this island after that? Were they, like, are these, have they seen because they talk about how they haven't been seen. It sound like
these are hundreds of years old, thousands of years old.
And they haven't been seen. Like, Luke they also made it sound like Luke had, like, nobody's been to this island in thousands of years either. So,
exactly.
The way Yoda made it sound like... Jedis have been
around for thousands of years.
So the way Yoda made it, like, the way Yoda made it sound when he burned them is like, we don't use these anymore anyway, so it doesn't really matter if we burn them to a crisp. Like, nobody's trained this way for years. Like, we don't need...
So maybe it was just more symbolic.
I think that's kind of almost what it is it's like a symbolism. Like, we don't, Rey didn't train, like, nobody trains this way anymore. Everything's changed now.
Yeah.
We don't do this.
Very possible.
Maybe.
I mean,
I don't know.
The island was beautiful other than the porgs. Did you like those stupid little creatures? I'm assuming that was thrown in for kiddos because,
So it wasn't. I actually found a trivia thing on this. It was thrown in out of, it was done because it was easier to do than to move the penguins that were already on the island. It was easier to CGI over them because they couldn't take them off the island because it's illegal.
Yep.
And it was easier to just CGI over them than it was to, like, pay somebody to herd them into an area where they weren't filming. So they just CGI'd over all of them and made them into porgs.
That's funny. So, I never would have realized that. I still wish they would have let Chewie eat the one he barbecued. I mean, basically, he'd already cooked it at that point. Let him eat it. He's hungry, So, I don't know. I did not know that. So that, once again, explains that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I feel like I've tore it apart. It is beautifully shot and filmed.
It does look pretty.
It's so disjointed. You got stupid storylines that have nothing to do with anything. And, George Lucas, when he was wanting, and we probably discussed this a few, months ago whenever we started all this, when he was writing his script, he knew he wanted to write a space opera, kind of like, I think I mentioned it early on, like 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
He just wanted the spaceships to go a lot faster.
Yeah. Yeah, because everything in 2001 Space Odyssey is slow.
Exactly. So we're just going to go as fast as we can to not get shot. We're going to I don't know. It just seemed, it was all over the place. It really was.
This one kind of was, yeah.
If they just would have let Kylo and Rey and maybe Luke not be grouchy, but everything else, it was very heartfelt and, for me, very touching to see Luke and Leia on the screen together. Mm-hmm. Last time. I wish they would have had more. I really wish, Luke would have got to see Han. Mm-hmm. There would have been some kind of, hug and all this and that. And I did enjoy when Luke snuck on to the Millennium Falcon. Mm-hmm. I thought that was very sentimental. And there was a few things there. I just couldn't get past a lot of what some people loved. I tried to like, and I really try to love every Star Wars movie, and this is just it ain't gonna happen. It's just not. I'm never gonna get there. So, did you enjoy it? This is only your second time. You said it was okay. I'm curious to see where you put this in your ranking because I know where it's in mine.
It's okay. No, not really. It was fine. I think me and my dad have talked about this before. I'm not overly critical usually of movies. For being a person who has a movie podcast, I'm not generally overly critical of movies. If I can sit down and kind of just like you know, if it entertains me for the 2 hours, then then I'm fine. Like,
Yeah.
you know, for a couple hours, like it is what it is. And if I don't like it enough to watch it again, then I won't ever watch it again. But there's very few movies that I'm like, that was flippin' terrible.
Yeah.
This one,
Well, wait till next week.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This one was, you know, it's nice to see the characters. Like, it's always nice to see Star Wars. Like, it's always nice to see this Millennium Falcon. It's always nice to see Chewie and, like you said, Luke and Leia and stuff like that. But there's random things like Leia floating out through space. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand the story with Luke wanting, you know, trying to kill his nephew. I just don't understand some of the things that happen in this. And I do understand that, like, your focus is on, you know, Kylo Ren and Rey, like that's where we're shifting this, but even still, like, it doesn't, how you're trying to get there doesn't make any sense. Like, I know you're trying to make Kylo Ren a villain, and you're trying to give him a backstory, and you're trying to do some of this stuff, but it doesn't make, the way you're going about it doesn't make any sense.
No, and I remember, I mean, we talked last week. I really enjoyed The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there was some problems with it a little bit, but for the most part, I think I was very positive on it. So going into this one, you know, I had an inkling, being The Last Jedi, that, they would probably kill off, you know, Luke, much as I didn't want him to. I just kind of going in thought they might.
Yeah.
But I was so just disappointed because The Force Awakens was so good, and this one they just dropped the ball on, and there's a lot of potential there. They were too many storylines. Mm-hmm. Just too many storylines.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this. There's a lot of different storylines going on.
So do you want me to tell you where it ranks for me first, or you want to go?
I mean, I could tell you where it goes for me off the bat. This, so far, out of all the ones we've watched, is last.
Is it so far?
Yeah. Out of the ones we've watched so far, this is last.
Okay.
I would put it below I would put this one probably last out of the ones we've watched so far.
Okay. This one is, I mean, you can't fit a hair between them, but this one actually is just slightly below Attack of the Clones.
Slightly below, okay.
Yeah. So far, out of all the ones we've watched, Attack of the Clones is my least favorite.
Okay.
So
this is slightly above Attack of the Clones. Like,
above it.
Okay.
This is slightly above it. So if you're at the bottom, Attack of the Clones, and I didn't get to do that review with you.
Okay.
So if you think I was bad on this one, it's probably good I didn't do that one. But yes, so this is the next to last.
Okay.
On that. So Attack of the Clones is at the bottom, and this is, I mean, barely on. I mean, you couldn't put a sheet of paper between them. So I could it's almost a tie as they suck bad. So,
okay.
So yeah, so we're pretty well in unison right there. I just, when not going back to Attack of the Clones, I couldn't get past some of the Anakin crap, being whiny and all this and that, and it was more annoying than some of the stuff that went on in this one, in my opinion. So, and when we talked back then, a lot of my problem with that one was the CGI, where this one, the music was okay. It worked well, but I keep going back to this. Just beautiful. Just beautifully shot. I could probably watch this with the volume off and enjoy it more.
Yeah, if you didn't have to listen to them.
Yeah, just watching the cinematography, because the writing leaves a lot to be desired for a Star Wars movie. So,
okay,
Penguins.
So you're gonna.
That's interesting.
You're gonna. Well, you don't have a lot of hair, but you're gonna pull what hair you do have out.
Yeah, I need to start doing the podcast where I'm doing this. I don't know which looks worse. I got a big old forehead. That's all I see. So.
Well, I do too. It's not mine ain't much better. I just have a lot of hair back here, but.
For me to get a man bun, I could start now, and I'm going to die first. It'd take me. I don't have that much time. So.
So on the Rotten Tomatoes list, This is fourth.
I'm not surprised.
This is
But
above Rogue One. This is above Return of the Jedi. This is above Revenge of the Sith. This is only behind A New Hope, Empire, and The Force Awakens. That is it. Those are the only three movies that beat this one on that list, which is amazing.
well, like I said, it is divisive. Like I said, I tried to go in watching it with a different set of eyes, different perspective, trying to be more mature. I don't. It's not for me. It just isn't. I mean, and I don't know. I would love to know the age range of people that go on Rotten Tomatoes and because it's all right. You just vote. I'm not a Rotten Tomatoes. It's not critic
both.
based.
It's both.
Is it?
It's critics and fans.
So did the critics? I mean, so is that a combination or are they separated?
I'm not sure how this list works, to tell you the truth. It gives you a critics' consensus. It says The Last Jedi honors the saga-rich legacy while adding some surprising twists and delivers an emotion-rich action fans can hope for or could hope for.
Well, they watched a different movie than I did. That's all I got to say. Maybe I got the wrong. Maybe Disney put the wrong version on my app because that's not the movie I've watched 2 times.
But yeah, I don't know. This is that's what it says on here. But yeah.
I really try not to cuss on your podcast, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I just couldn't disagree more.
Yeah. I get it.
I guess I need to read more. Like I said, I read about the divisiveness, but I just would really like to know, I think so much on opinions come down to demographics. I would like to know the people that really loved it. Are they my age? Are they in their 40s and 50s? Are this younger people who like a change?
I'm guessing it's people who probably started with The Force Awakens. Is what that
would honestly be my guess. I would say more people of my age that has seen all of them from when we were little kids. I can't imagine this rates well with them. No. I'm sure there's some anomalies out there that
there are.
But
I would
overall, I just don't think that the hardcore fans of my generation were overly pleased with this. But maybe it's just me. I don't know.
I would say, and this is just a guess, kind of like you're doing at the moment. We're both just guessing. This is all crapshoot. Have no flipping idea. But if I had to guess with you saying, because I haven't read on that to see it to know if they're but you say that it's like divisive and a split on if people like it or not.
Yeah.
If people like it, I would say the people that are probably bigger fans of it, I would guess, are younger who probably started with The Force Awakens, and people who are not as much fans are probably older people who were fans of the originals. That's what I would guess, because this is a long shot from the originals.
And but I mean, you're what are you? 15, 16 years younger than you? 15 years, yeah. So, I mean, we're in different demographics. You didn't like it, but so maybe it's even younger than you. Yeah, but I'm just kind of curious.
But I also watched the originals and the prequels first. So, I watched the originals as a kid. I was born before the prequels came out even. So, you know, I watched the originals a long time ago. I watched all the other ones a long time ago several times. So, it's I've seen, I'm talking maybe some of the, these are going to be people that this may have been their start. The Force Awakens may have been their start with Star Wars. They had never seen A New Hope or something like that. And this was the beginning for them.
And one last thought. I do remember getting done watching it a few nights ago, and it just didn't have that. It didn't feel like a Star Wars movie to me. I don't know why.
Okay,
It
that's
was
odd because
just,
I feel like it felt like a Star Wars movie. Like it looks like a Star Wars movie.
it looked
But
like it, but it was, there was just so much about it that was bad that it was just, I don't know. I didn't. I kind of got done and I'm like, I don't feel that I watched a Star Wars movie, and maybe it's just
I think that's nostalgia talking.
probably so.
Yeah,
A lot of gray here.
yeah.
Probably so.
There's
And
more
there's,
getting in here too, actually. Which is
yeah, I
kind
know
of
you need to grow that out a little bit
yeah,
and look good. So,
yeah.
there's probably a lot of nostalgia, and I knew when, you invited me to do all the Star Wars
Mm-hmm.
movies that I was going to be very biased towards some originals, and I knew what I liked and what I didn't like. And in all honesty, when did this come out?
This one came out in 2017.
Okay,
So
9 years.
it's only 9 years old.
Okay, but in 9 years, for me being a Star Wars fan, I've only watched it at the theater.
Yeah, this is only the second time. Yeah.
And there's probably not a month that goes by that I don't kind of watch part or all of a Star Wars movie,
Mm-hmm.
and I have the ones that I will watch. And
Yeah.
there's a handful of them that never crossed my mind. I just skip right over them. And this one I skipped right over, and I probably will never watch it again.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's just nothing, there's not enough enjoyable scenes in it. Boy, the throne room is good, though. I have to admit that one I keep going back to.
It's a good scene.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah, but it's not enough
But
to
one
make
scene
me
isn't
sit
going
down
to
and
make
watch.
you watch a whole movie.
Yeah, 2 hour and 30 minutes of this. So I just feel bad for Rose. I just feel like I could give her a hug. She just probably a great girl, but
Yeah.
man, bad lines. I'm telling you. So I can't get over. I felt sorry for her during the movie.
Yeah.
And not because of that, just because of the lines she had to say.
Yeah.
So, but all right. So yeah,
okay.
other than that, I can't destroy it much more.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've even tried to be somewhat positive. So
Well, it'll be interesting to see what next week brings. Because we've already heard
well, once again,
a little bit of what we think
well,
of
once
that,
again,
so.
Kevin, I've only watched it once in the theater. My daughter and I not gotten an argument, but we got in a discussion about something that happens during the movie because she's like, "Why do you hate it so much?" And I'm like, "Well, we'll wait till next week."
I mean, I think I can guess probably what that might be. We'll see. But I mean, I have a guess. We'll see if
it'll
is.
be interesting.
But,
it'll be interesting
because I know what happens, and I remember what happens, and I some of what happens, but we'll see. But yeah. Anyway, that's next week. Episode 9. What is that one called? I don't even remember.
The Rise of Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker. Yeah. So, which is interesting because Skywalker is dead. We just talked about that. So
there you go.
There's a whole thing.
No spoilers.
There's a whole thing about that. But anyway, so yeah, we will talk about that next week. We will and we'll do our full list of how we're gonna rank these. So we'll go down through all 11 of our full rankings of how we think these should and compare them to what other people on Rotten Tomatoes think. So that'll be fun.
That'll be good. And and in all honesty, if anyone has actually watched all of them, my final list probably will change from what I said at the time.
Oh yeah.
But I guarantee you, the movie we just reviewed isn't moving up on the list at all. It's dead. It's in its position. The last 3 movies, I may adjust something with Rogue One somewhere in there. I may,
I don't tell you
the last 3 of my movies are. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't
remember where I put all of them, so it's kind of just been like a throw it in here in this kind of area, and that's kind of where it is. I don't remember what numbers I put them at, so I'll just go through and kind of write them down and be like, okay, this is where I kind of think this should go, and that's going to be what it is.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to remember.
No.
If anyone's watched all of them, they're not going to remember. Nope. All I can tell you is I know Empire's won, and I know what's going to be last. Everything in between, a little different. So.
Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and we will talk to you guys next week.